a couple of things. If there's deer on the track, they'll have a black flag out. Or a bear. If they think there's something wrong with your machine, they will give you a black flag. 2 weeks ago in Nova Scotia, they black flagged a guy, and he continued at racing speed. His fairing jammed in his front wheel, and he killed his passenger on a sidecar. If you get the black flag, slow down. Proceed slowly back to the pits.
It will be pointed at you directly.
Yes, it will be pointed at you.
Go back to pit slowly, off the racing line, please.
Debris on track. It can be oil, parts, cars will drop mufflers,
British things.
Headlights, glass, and stuff like that.
Oil.
They will point you to the clear line. Meatball. Dangerous machine or rider defect. Could probably be pointed at most of us. If you see this flag, pull off the course and stop. You may be pouring oil out, in which case it's not only dangerous to you, it's dangerous to everybody else out there. So pull slowly, clearly off the track. Don't do a left-hand turn at 90 miles an hour in the middle of the back straight. Get a hand up, pull slowly to the edge and pull off. Have a look. Somebody will usually come along like a corner worker and tell you why you've been meatballed. Now, if it's a 10-lap race and you've only got your little bike around 3 times, your race is still over. When the checkered flag is out, you continue around the track and back in off the exit lane.
We will also use the checkered flag to end practice sessions.
Yes.
There will be an oil flag out for the first 2 laps.
I know they oiled the shit out of this place yesterday.
Doesn't the checker flag mean the start of the last lap for you?
No. No. You race until you get the checkered flag.
Yeah, but what I mean is then that's your last lap after that.
Your shotgun.
Ah, yes, but when there's 1 race lap left to go, the starter will display a white flag.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Westwood Historic, the last race. It is Racing Club BC, presenting the 10th Westwood Historic Racing.
This is racing this as a 1939 KSS. The frame and motor are 1947. It's made up to look like a 1936 or 7 Mark 7 KTT. That's what the look is, a rigid frame KTT, but it's actually a KSS. The bell set uses very narrow flywheels and 2 shafts, one on each side. This timing shaft I had to have fabricated. Otherwise, the upper end, cam, piston, valves, springs are all standard bell set. The whole magneto ignition system is standard bell set. Gearbox is standard bell set. The look-alikeness comes in the sheet metal mostly. It's like with vintage racing, there seems to be 2 channels that were going along at the same time. One is performance, the enjoyment of racing, riding fast, and the other is trying to get the bikes to look like they did, to look good and look as they did. So appearance is important, but performance is too. Actually, the 2 go hand in hand.
this being the 10th anniversary of the vintage motorcycle racing at Westwood, the club were very fortunate in being able to get 6-time world champion to be our guest of honor, Mr. Geoff Duke, OBE. Now, this is Geoff's very first visit to Canada, and I'm just going to ask him now what his opinion really is of his first visit to Canada. What do you think, Geoff?
Oh, I'm most impressed, first of all, with the country being so beautiful, in particular in this area, and this circuit, which I'm very sorry to hear is not going to be used anymore after this meeting. But it rather reminds me of being a miniature Nürburgring in Germany, which is absolutely fantastic. But the thing that really impresses me most of all is the sheer enthusiasm of everyone here. And it's so nice to see so many of these old bikes being used instead of being in museums.
Exactly. And walking around the pits as you have been, I've no doubt you must have seen several exact machines that you rode yourself in the middle and late 50s, particularly the Norton Manxes. I know you rode Giliras and BMWs, but we have them all here, and I'm sure you must have seen them. Did you see any that you would recognize and know so well?
Well, certainly there was a 350 Manx Norton, which we christened the Garden Gate in those years, which was almost identical to the first machine I rode in the Manx Grand Prix in the Isle of Man on the TT course in 1948. And this was a particularly beautiful machine, beautifully restored, and it even sounded exactly as I remember it should sound.
And we've been very, very fortunate in having some very nice weather, and this afternoon we'll be running again in the handicap races, which I believe are quite unique to most motorcycle races. And I think, Geoff, you're going to really enjoy the way this club organizes and runs these handicap races.
I'm sure that it's really the informal, friendly organisation which really stands out an absolute mile here. And I'm sure that this afternoon is going to be very, very interesting indeed.
Exactly. And I know you're in big demand now for signing autographs. I know people have been hounding you all day. I hope you haven't been too overwhelmed and you're not getting too tired, because pretty soon you're going to have to take a lap around the circuit in one of the vintage cars. They'll be calling for you fairly soon. So just a last word to the members here before we leave.
Well, I'm obviously looking forward to doing a lap around the circuit. I only wish that I was in a fit condition to ride around myself. Yeah. But anyway, I'd just like to wish everyone here all the very best for the future, and I hope that an alternative circuit can be found for future use.